All right, how's it going, everybody? All right, as you can see, I have a special collector's issue here of Muscle and Fitness from July 1997. Uh, I glanced at this several times before without looking at the date. I always assumed it was from the early 2000s. I didn't realize it was this old. So, and there's supposed to be a free poster of Arnold in here. I must have put it up already or did something with it because I don't see it in the book. I remember him. Gunter. I could never pronounce his last name. Schlierkamp. But I just remember him as Gunter. He was a big guy. So, this is going to be a deep dive into a big book. I think what did it say, 90 pages? Yep, over 90 pages of the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Now, does that mean that it's just all Arnold? Because I haven't looked at this in ages. Got Dorian in here. Now, this is from 1997, so 1997 would be at the tail end of the Dorian Yates era. 50 years of bodybuilding potential. You see, you got Joe Weider and Arnold here. They had kind of a symbiotic relationship, as I assume most of you know. They kind of helped to make one another. But yeah, this was toward the end of the Dorian Yates era. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he is the 6-time Mr. Olympia. Won it one time fewer than Arnold did. Arnold won it 7 times. So Dorian started his reign in 92, so that means that it ended in 98. So this is toward the end of his reign. So I always thought he had an interesting physique. Of course, back then I was really into this stuff. And but just in general, even though I'm not a huge proponent of bodybuilding anymore, I think that the physiques were just more interesting. They just looked more eye-popping back then without being too goofy looking, because I just think they've gotten to be too big, and with the growth hormone, they've ended up with these distended midsections. So, but yeah, I just think this was 1997 was kind of toward the end of the peak of bodybuilding, because as I've said before, I think the 90s was the peak. So 97, it was almost over, at least in my opinion. I mean, the last time I watched a bodybuilding competition, I don't know, I probably watched the 2017 Mr. Olympia, and I pretty much fell asleep on it. Like, I don't know, man. They just, just, oh, or was it the 2018 Mr. Olympia? Because Sean Roden wasn't able to compete. He'd gotten in some trouble. So it was up for grabs. And that year, well, I'll just use Ronnie Coleman's words. Ronnie Coleman said that nobody was in shape. That's what he said. The front runner, the reigning Mr. Olympia wasn't there. And I have to agree. I mean, it just wasn't, I don't know. It was just missing something. A lot of, distended guts and all of that. And I don't know, blocky physiques. But yeah. Arnold definitely had kind of a timeless physique, meaning that he looks, you look at old pictures of him, I mean, it's impressive when you compare him to any era, you know. I think he destroys some of the modern bodybuilders. He may not be as big, but at least he had a small waistline. So Arnold's road to greatness. The Austrian oak. Yeah. Is that him and Franco Colombo? Those gravity boots. Yeah, he idolized Reg Park. I believe he modeled his career after Reg Park, if I'm not mistaken. Because didn't Reg Park play Hercules or some muscle hero in the movies? So it was because of him that Arnold wanted to go into film from bodybuilding. Sergio Oliva. Yeah, this is going all the way. Vince Taylor. Yeah, I think he was still competing around this time. Eventually, he went on to participate in the Masters Olympia, if I'm not mistaken. I think he may be the first Masters Olympia winner. But that's really kind of a shot in the dark. I know I know he's up there, like one of the first. And guess who else won it? Robbie Robinson won it. I think it may have been 1996. He beat out Lou Ferrigno. Was it 96, 97, 98, something like that? And off the top of my head, I can't remember when the Masters Olympia started. But the first Masters Olympia I saw was in a documentary called Stand Tall. It was a Lou Ferrigno documentary, just documenting his training for the Masters Olympia. And the year 1996 keeps coming to mind. And the documentary actually was an extra on a DVD. I think it was either The Return of the Incredible Hulk, or The Trial of the Incredible Hulk, or The Death of the Incredible Hulk, one or the other. Because all of those made for TV Incredible Hulk movies were released on DVD. And I enjoy all of them, especially Return of the Incredible Hulk, because Lou was just so ungodly huge in that one. He really looked like a flesh and blood Hulk. Yeah, Arnold was massive, particularly in this picture. So anyway, they included Stand Tall as a DVD extra. And I've never bothered to look it up, but I wonder if it's on YouTube. If it's on YouTube, you guys should try to check that out. Lou Ferrigno, Stand Tall. And really good documentary. I actually own it. I guess I'm incriminating myself, but I found a way. I can't remember how I did it, but I found a way to connect my DVD player to a VHS, and there was no Macrovision on it, so I just recorded myself a copy of it, and then I connected the VHS to a DVD recorder, or either that, or I ended up buying a VHS DVD up convert system, which is one of those DVD player recorders where you could copy VHS tapes. And I just recorded a DVD of the VHS. So went from DVD to VHS back to DVD. And believe it or not, it looks pretty good. So I've had a copy of it since like the early to mid 2000s. But if you guys can get your hands on it, you would enjoy that one, man. Again, it's called Stand Tall. So documentary on Lou Ferrigno, but it also includes Boyer Coe, Robbie Robinson. They mainly focus on Lou Ferrigno and Boyer Coe for the most part, because it's the Masters Olympia, and it's all of these old school bodybuilders, who came back, and Lou Ferrigno was 48 when he competed in it, and Boyer Coe kind of complained about that because it was supposed to be for bodybuilders who were 50 and up, and apparently Lou Ferrigno got the IFBB to lower it to 48, and he wanted to get an Olympia title. So show this. So but I don't know, I think I already gave it away. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I didn't, but I'm not going to tell you who won, although I kind of already did kind of mention it, so, but hopefully you missed it. If you want to be surprised, then just don't rewind it. But good documentary. Was this a fitness pageant here? And what is this supplement? What is this? Ultimate Orange. Blast through sticking points. Breakthrough training plateaus. Yeah, man, wouldn't be Muscle and Fitness without a bunch of ads. Yeah, and they already read on the cover that they were promoting Arnold's movie, Batman and Robin, Best Action Hero. That's probably a big part of why he's on the cover, because 1997, that was around the time when they released Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, 97. I don't know how many of you guys saw that. I don't think it did so well. Got Dorian, Sean Ray. I always say, I think Sean Ray should have won the 1994 Mr. Olympia. The Iceman Cometh. Here it is. This is from Batman and Robin. He played Mr. Freeze. Yeah, I always thought that Sean Ray should have won the 94 Mr. Olympia, but it's a subjective sport. And that's, wait a minute. This thing has so many moving parts. It's coming open. Vivica A. Fox. Yeah, this was around the time when these Batman movies became just big ass extended toy commercials. And I mean, they always were, to some extent, from the first big budget Batman in 1989 with Michael Keaton played him. But man, by the time they came out with Batman and Robin in 97, it was just an extended toy commercial. And good old George Lucas started that with Star Wars. You know, when he started releasing toys for every character in the movie. And Hollywood caught on and followed suit. I used to train 2 days on, 1 off. I never realized he did. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, George Lucas really made that a thing. And by the time the late 90s rolled on, it was more so about selling toys to kids and selling Happy Meals at McDonald's than the real movie. Because Batman and Robin was pretty terrible. Yeah. Get in line. What is this? Mayo System XL. So, yeah, this is a thick magazine, man. I think I'm like basically right around halfway through. Forgotten exercises for calves and hamstrings. You know, calves, as far as, oh yeah, I remember that. As far as, oh yeah, donkey calf raises. As far as growing your calves, you want to talk about a genetic predisposition. I mean, you know, nobody, I don't know, some may want to admit to that, maybe some won't, but if you aren't meant to have calves, they aren't going to grow very much. I was a guy that was not meant to have calves. I mean, I would train them like a madman. I did all types of routines and techniques and this, that. I tried any and everything I read or heard. I heard about training them every day. Didn't really work. I heard about training them with regular rest like you would get with any body part. She looks like a man. She looks so much like a man. Yeah, I heard about training them with the amount of rest that you would give any body part. They got a little bigger. That was it. Masculine. Oh my God, look at that. Man with a wig. Man. I may Google her and have a look at what she looked like before she started using anabolic assistance. Because it's really kind of fascinating, the effect that anabolics have on the face of women. I mean, because Kim Savetsky isn't the only woman to start looking like a man due to the consumption of anabolics. There are others, but I think she's just the most pronounced. There's no one, as long as you eat right. Creatine. Weight gainer 2200. Yeah, I remember seeing all this stuff at GNC. You guys remember GNC? Your temple has a new power source. And so, yeah, I don't know if GNC is even still in existence anymore. I'd say maybe 7 or 8 years ago, there was one right in my neighborhood. It's like literally right down the street, and that's the last one I remember. I would imagine that people just buy supplements online now without any real dedicated stores. Which Mr. Olympia is this? Mr. Olympia and Masters Olympia. Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, around this time, when Dorian was just winning, like in 95, 96, 97, so forth, you know, those competitions were pretty stacked, man. I don't feel like he was just like this totally dominant force. I mean, you probably could have made an argument for some of the other guys, but what he did have was that hardness and graininess along with the size, and the other guys just didn't have that. Mike Matarazzo, Big Lou, the other guys just didn't have that. You know, he was as grainy. You know, off the top of my head, the last guy I remember who was as consistently grainy as Dorian Yates was probably 3 times smaller than him, and that was Rich Gaspari. You know, Rich Gaspari was pretty grainy most of the time. But, you know, I think it was pretty rare to see someone that big and that grainy. So we're starting to come to an end here. 1997, that was a long time ago, man. All right, that's it. So toward the end, it was mainly just ads. So, all right, really thick. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching another episode of PLA Mind and Body Works. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with more content and information on the fitness industry, personal training, and strength training in general. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.